OMG, oh my God. This is a chicken like you've never tried before. Today I want to show you the easiest way and the tastiest way to make a roasted chicken. Now, everybody knows how to make a roasted chicken. You take a chicken, put whatever seasoning on, put it in the oven and roast it, right? But the biggest challenge in roasting a chicken is cooking the breast and the thigh so they're both moist, not having raw spots in the chicken, and making sure it just tastes delicious. And honestly, when I taste a lot of roasted chicken, either out in a restaurant or at friends' homes, it's always dry. So I'm gonna show you the sure way techniques to get this chicken to be so delicious. Before I start, there's 3 steps that I think are really important. The best chicken ever has got to have a dry brine. Now, I know it means a little bit of time, not long. You can dry brine the chicken for as little as an hour, up to 3 days. The ideal amount of time would be probably dry brining it in the morning, then cooking it just before dinner, because it's only going to take an hour to cook. A dry brine fully seasons the chicken and allows the skin to dehydrate. And what that does, it improves browning and crispness during the cooking. And measuring the internal temperature of the chicken to determine doneness, I think, is a must as well. You get superior results. And finally, rubbing the chicken with some oil before roasting instead of basting it with any kind of, watery drippings that might have stock in it or a sauce ensures even browning and a much crisper skin. So the first thing you want to do with your chicken is just wipe it off with a paper towel. Make sure it's not wet because moisture is the enemy in crisping that beautiful chicken skin. Then for about every 3-pound chicken, you're going to take about a tablespoon of salt. I like to use sea salt or kosher salt. And adding a little bit of baking powder creates a micro bubbles in the skin, which enhances the browning. Really key ingredient. Got about a tablespoon of sea salt here and about a teaspoon of baking powder. We're just going to mix this together. You just take the salt, baking powder mixture, sprinkle it over top. You can try to rub it in a bit. Don't worry if it falls on the sides. And you want to do the entire chicken. Make sure you get it all around. Well, another trick is getting it under the skin. That's a little more challenging, but I'll show you how to do that. You want to get under the skin because it really tenderizes then. You just have to slip your finger in under the skin. Do it gently because you don't want to tear the skin. I mean, if you tear it, it's not the end of the world, but just very slowly work your finger in and you can see how I'm under the skin. And you want to just loosen the skin, especially up above the breast. I mean, if you can get in under the thighs, that would be great too, but you don't need to. And then you're just going to take your salt and your baking powder and just rub it in there best you can. And now you're going to put this into the fridge, but I'm going to put it on a rack because I want the bottom of the chicken to get really, really nice and dry as well. So take a rack and put it into your fridge. And then I said minimum is an hour, but if you want the best flavor, a few hours for sure. Overnight is unbelievable, and even up to 2-3 days. But I always do it in the morning and then roast it at night. And when you put it into your refrigerator, do not cover it. That's what's going to allow this mixture to dehydrate the chicken and get really nice and dry so it will crisp. So it's the next day. I let my chicken just brine overnight. As I said, you can leave it up to 3 days. And as you can see, I mean, it doesn't look that gorgeous. It's very what you'd call desiccated. It's dehydrated, but that's what's going to make for the fabulous chicken. So up to you. What I like to do is no sauces on it. What I do is usually put some oil on, rub it over, and any spices that you like. I might do a little bit of garlic powder, no more salt for sure. I got some paprika here. I mean, you could do onion powder, you could do whatever you want. And we're just going to brush it over. And again, this is something you don't have to do. I'm going to stuff the inside with some lemon and rosemary and thyme. Now I am going to do one step that you don't need to do, I'm gonna put it into a skillet just to brown on, especially around the legs that never get browned enough in the oven. And that's going to also give it that gorgeous brown look. And then you're gonna preheat your oven to about 425. You're gonna do a fairly high heat because slow roasting just won't brown it the way you want. And the reason no sauces is you don't want to be basting this with any liquids. If not, you'll take away from the crispness. Chicken looks really beautiful. I think that was about 45 minutes, but remember, it all depends on the size of your bird. So what I like to do is always take the temperature, but here's the thing. The breast and the thigh cook differently, right? So often, you know, how often do you get an overdone breast and perfectly cooked thighs? Or, you know, it can be still raw around the leg. So what you want to do is take the temperature at about the thickest part of the breast, just like that. And you're gonna wait till it gets to 150 degrees. Now, I know you've been told that it should be 160, 165 degrees. As long as it stays at 150 for 3 minutes, it will be perfect, which means the thighs will be cooked perfectly and the whole bird will be really, really moist. So that's a key. Once you bring it out, leave it for at least 15 minutes before you carve it to let the juices settle. Okay, so my chicken looks absolutely beautiful. Let's hope it's all perfectly cooked inside. And the first thing I'll do is cut off the leg. All right, and you can see in here, the juices are clear, which is what you want. And again, remember, I let this rest for about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, so cut off my quarters. Breast is right here, and you can take the wing off, or you could just serve it like this. But looks pretty delicious. Let me platter this and give it a try and see whether that brining really did something for it. But I can't believe the difference in flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Oh my God, here, I'll let you try in a second. When you have this, I promise you, you will not go back to just roasting a chicken. You're going to do the dry brine, and I'm going to try it now because I wanna prove to you that it's not excessively salty, even though all that salt penetrated the skin. Moist beyond compare. Lovely sodium flavor, but not too much, but tender, like you're sitting in the finest restaurant. So please try the dry brining. Remember, the minimum could be an hour, always better a few hours. Do it in the morning, roast it at night, or if you've got a couple days, put it in the fridge for 2 or 3 days before roasting it.